What's up, painting friends? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Stoof, and today we're going to do an acrylic painting tutorial for a fox, a little red fox. So I'm going to use the grid method so I can match everything up properly with my reference photo. I just put a little grid on my reference photo, and I use the same spacing, which will be 2 inches, for the spacing on my grid on the canvas. I had a different painting under here so you can kind of see through that, but we're going to have that all covered up. I'm just going to take a little bit of black. Oh, that's not, I don't have black, there's black. Alright, looking at our materials today, we have an 8-inch by 10-inch canvas panel. We have palette paper for our palette. We're using acrylic paints. I have a couple different brands here, Arteza and Liquitex. We have Dioxazine Purple, Yellow Ochre or Yellow Oxide. This one is cadmium-free red light. This one's called Yellow Orange, even though it looks very orange. This is Burnt Sienna, Flesh Tint, Yellow Azo, Titanium White, Phthalo Green, Sap Green Light, Sap Green Permanent, Light Blue Violet, and Mars Black, Burnt Umber, and Ultramarine Blue. We're probably going to use all those colors today. For brushes, I have this one long number 2 flat tip brush that's kind of frayed. Also going to be using this brush, angled brush. Maybe use this flat tip brush and our frayed angle brush, which I love for painting fur. I'll definitely use that too. And I'm gonna throw a liner brush in there, teeny tiny little guy, just because this is a small canvas and the fox's head is basically all in this one little section, so I'm probably gonna need this liner brush. But that's what we got to work with today. I also have a cup of water to clean off my brushes and some Viva paper towels. I like those for wiping down my brushes. Alright, so let's get started with sketching out the concept. I'm going to use my long flat tip brush for that. Just thinning down some black paint. And we're just kind of roughly going to sketch this in. So the eye starts about here. The other eye starts right about the center. And the nose is at about, this is center, it's off center, it's pretty centered between these two eyes. And it starts up a little higher there. The nose is, foxes have small noses. The eyes are, or they have big eyes, but the nose is about the same size as the eyes. Just a little bit taller. Interesting. Okay, and then there's like the snout, which we don't have to get too crazy with detail yet on that. Little mouth here. This one come in a little more there. Okay, and then got this pattern. His eyes are probably a little too big, but we'll fix that later. Got this fur there. And he's got like a highlight on the head, kind of like that little shadow in here. And right here I've got the, it almost looks like a bear right now. Got the top of the head there, and they have some big ears. Just copying what I'm seeing in my reference photo. Oops, this one should come over a little more. Okay. Looks a little strange right now, but we're following the grid method, so it'll all come out okay here. Just need to keep pushing through. Oops, this leg has to come back a little bit more. Like that. Don't want that. A very interesting body. Got the back right here. A little bit of fur there. Oops, that's a little too low. It's more like this. Just comes up and comes back down. Tail goes about right there. More fur there. They have really pretty tails. And we'll see what else we got. There's a little shadow in here where the elbow would be. And a little shadow here in this bone joint. And this is kind of all in shadow under there. And we got another leg. Can't forget that they have 4 legs. Other leg goes about right there. Comes down there. And down like that. And the other leg here is kind of just hiding behind this one. Alright, he looks pretty good now. We're gonna fill in all the background color first, and then I will work on the fox. So if you just need to learn how to paint a fox and you don't care about the background at all, then you can fast forward to where we start the fox in a little bit. I'm gonna keep the background pretty simple. Just keep mixing my greens here. A little bit of light blue violet. And this is nice because we have green and red, like greenish bluish and reddish orange, so we're working with kind of complementary colors too, and that's one of the things that makes foxes so pretty, and they stand out so much when you see them in a grassy area. Just filling in all of the space behind the fox, going right up to my edges. You can go even over a little bit if you want to. I'll have to worry about your lines showing through. Just going back and forth with the brush strokes to get a good blend. Just making some areas a little darker than others to give us a little bit of variation in the background so it's not all the same. Mix a little bit of oxide or ochre into that. And we'll add more white, a little bit of yellow. Let's keep it a little bit lighter. At the front here. Filling in all the space between the fox. Trying to get a little bit of a soft blend from the different variations of green I have here. And then we could take some umber with the oxide color and some flesh tint. Start to add this in here. And then in the foreground, we're just going to take our sap green with some light blue violet. And we're just gonna put that at the very bottom. You don't need to have a smooth transition from that warm color to the green, because the next thing we're gonna do is take this brush, get some more sap green, and then just start holding the brush at an angle and getting these little jagged lines here for the grass is sticking up. Just kind of push the brush around. Now we'll put that brush in the water, grab a little bit more of this color, sap green. Just dipping the brush with that paint on it in the water a little bit to get a little bit thinner lines to work with. It's not working so great for me today. And you can start to add a couple little ones back here. Just kind of making your way back. And once we get enough in there, I'm just gonna kind of let it go and fades off into the background. You could take more white and yellow. Add some highlights. Just very lightly holding the brush and letting it move around. that's good enough for now. All right, let's work on the fox. I'm gonna start with the tail. We're gonna use some black and purple and oxide, and just start to get these little darker furs. Just going back and forth with the brush, right over the edge. And take some purple. Filling in these shadows here. We've got this whole leg is like purple with a little bit of light blue violet. Mix some of that dark brown color again too. Maybe a little bit of our cadmium-free red light. And we got that shape looking good. I'm gonna take some flesh tint and just add this little, and some light blue violet. And we'll just get that out of the way. I'm going to take some umber and purple, a little bit of orange. Fill this section in. There's also a little bit of this color in here. Just a little more orange at the top. So white, yellow, and orange. Start filling in more of these colors. Maybe a little, yeah, some flesh tint in there too. A little bit of ochre. And some more orange, white, yellow. And I'll just take some brown for the section down here. Turns into that black. You want this leg to come down a little bit more than that one. Go back to our purple and brown with a little bit of light blue violet. It's a good color for under the belly. And we got some ochre, brown, white, more white, ochre, a little bit of that orange, some flesh tint. One more flesh tint. Get the top of the back. It's pretty light over here. Once you get the grid method down, it's not too hard to paint the fox. You just have to focus more on the different colors in the fur in sections rather than like trying to follow a specific pattern of like, okay, I have to do the head first. It has to be orange, you know. If you break free of those rules that you gave yourself, then it makes it a lot easier to just paint what you see. Some more brown down here. Some sienna. And the way you orient your brush is important too. Every time you do fur, you kind of, whatever way you're orienting your brush, that's the way it's going to look like the fur is going. Going back to this more purple color. Purple brown. Just kind of blends in that other color. Get some sienna with oxide. And more of our light blue violet with the purple and the flesh tint for over here. And I'll take some more oxide with white. Start to add some of these down here. Back to that orange color, I'm going to add a little oxide. Adding a couple little, there's like little rows of dark and then lighter fur in the tail there. And it's just like black up here. Got this grayish color under the mouth. And the side of the face is in shadow. Gonna add the little tips for the ears. And then we're gonna get the eyes started here. I'm gonna dip the brush in water a little bit. Made this eye a little smaller because I made it seem like it was a little too big at the beginning there. And for the nose, I got this dark shadow, the two little nostrils, another little shadow there. And for the eyes, I'm going to take my Oxide with some light blue and some blush tint. And it helps to have a liner brush for these teeny tiny little eyes. And then for the other side, we're just going to use white with our Oxide. Because this eye is more in the sun, so it's lighter. And more black. Looking good. Take a little more black. Just fix the shape. And let's see, we've got this like brownish black shape around the snout. It's not quite as dark on this side. And then for the ear, we've got more of the flush tint with ochre and a little light blue violet. Tiny bit of red, but not too much. And let's do some white. Just taking my brush and adding little lines. Take a little more white. It's a little more highlight. A little more of a highlight on the back of the head there. And these ones are kind of cutting in front of the inner part of the ear. I got a little bit more of a shadow with that same colored shadow right here. And then we've got more of the orange flesh tint, yellowy color here. A little bit more Sienna down here. Just adding a little shadow there. And then we've got like a highlight, this part of the ear. Same over here. Got some highlights, center of the head, kind of come down into the orange color a little bit. Just gonna mix a little red and umber into that one. Oxide. There are lots of really pretty little colors in the fur. Take a little more red, yellow, orange. And I'll take some white, a little bit of that oxide. Got like a highlight here that kind of masks around the face. Goes about right there too. Gonna take a little bit brown. Blend it with my ochre. Put this in here. And then this kind of fades into this side of the snout is like a purpley color, and we've got more brown and sienna on this side. Right in there. Right around the eye. Add a little bit more yellow. Touching up the eyes. Some really nice, pretty bright white right there. And right here. Right here, there's a little bit. Kind of fades down into that flesh tint with like a tiny dab of black looking color. And then this fox color here is a little bit lighter too. Kind of fades in. Got a little bit of black blended in with this like orange white combo. Just gonna pull down some fur here. Makes all these little lines. And there's some black in there too. Take a little bit of light blue violet, white. And that's what we got for this side of the face. Since this side's in shadow, gotta make it a little bit cooler than the other side was. And I'm going to touch up the green right here too, because I think I made this a little, something's a little off here. Alright, I'm going to do a little more work with the fur now using my frayed angle brush. Some white, flesh tint, ochre, light blue violet, a little umber, a little black. Take a little bit more purple and sienna, black, light blue violet, or sienna. And just darken that up a little more. And I'll take some more black. Get a deep shadow right in there. And a little bit more light right here. Take a little bit more burnt sienna. Alright, it's looking good. I'm going to take white, blend that with the colors on my brush, and just go over this again with some white, very lightly. And take more white. It's pretty bright right here. Okay, it's looking good there. And we'll take some more red orange, white, or yellow orange. I think was the name of that one, with some ochre and some red, some sienna, a little yellow. Get these highlights back in here. Yeah, there's definitely more yellow and ochre with some sienna right here. Pull those down, we'll add some more flesh tint and yellow, white, tiny dab of black. Get these colors in here. And back up here. So we got that first layer. Now we're kind of just going over all this again, building up our highlights. I'm gonna take my liner brush again and take some of this orange color with some sienna. I'm gonna touch up the space right around the eyes again. And on this side we need more umber, more purple. Adding in more black. Just gonna touch up the eyes again. Take some more Sienna and purple. Just darkening up the side a little more. And take some white with a little purple. Let's put this here. Back to my black. Finish the top part of the nose. Just blend this in a little bit. Alright, got the face going there. Let's mix a little bit of brown with my sienna purple. Just darken up a couple things in here. Yeah, we got some weird stuff going on with the fur in here with these little shadows. It's kind of hard to tell which direction the fur's going. It's darker right here. Take a little bit of light blue violet, white, black. A little more white. Got a little bit of white fur there. And I'll take some pink and a little bit of red. And I'm just doing these little tick marks for all the fur. Just trying to add some over the shadows. It's kind of hard to tell exactly which direction the fur is oriented in a lot of these spots. Take some sienna. And some purple with the sienna as you get farther down. Take a little more of this orange color. More yellow. Some ochre. Some white. Just add this for the tail. Nice and bright tail. Kind of comes in a little rose. Like all oriented around, going up into the tail, but around the whole structure. So when you're painting the fur, everything on this side is going to be a little cooler. But it's still kind of oriented, like coming up and then around. Take some more white. I'm going to switch back to my angled brush, get some black. It's darker down at the bottom. Get that fur there. Let's get some highlights going. Get a little pink and red in there, a little purple. White. Just getting more highlights, the fur. It's in little tufts over here. And white, yellow, red, orange, and flesh tint, more yellow. This section's pretty light right here. Same with here. I'm going to go back over this with more highlights. And I'll take some white with some sienna. Add a little more of that over here. Got some sienna in there. More of this color. A little bit of yellow in here. More sienna for this arm. It's got white for in there. There's some more little highlights in here. And I'll take some sienna. Just kind of get a little bit more of the shape of the neck in here. Yeah, that helped a lot, just like redefining the shape of the face a little bit. Adjusting the shape of this tail a little bit. Alright guys, I'm going to call that a finished painting. It's not the most detailed, not the most accurate, but we got the general form right, we got the general colors right. If you want to go into more detail, you're welcome to do that. If you want to make more little tweaks and adjustments to get the fur looking more accurate, you could do that too. But in general, I hope this helped you guys to paint a fox. We got the shape down, started working on the highlights, the shadows, showed you how to get the fur to orient in different directions, get the eyes and to the nose proportionate, get the ears the right shape, and that's basically about it. That's how you get a fox painting. So I hope you enjoyed this one. If you guys have any questions on this tutorial, you can leave a comment under this video. And if you have any recommendations for future paintings you'd like to see, then leave a comment under this video as well. Or you could send me a request on Instagram. My Instagram is Steph Moraca Fine Art. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this one. Have a great day and happy painting. Bye bye.